Wagwan. It's your boy LP Coach, and I'm back with the Next Generation Baller Show. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Sorry I'm late, but I'm back. Sorry, I literally got caught up doing some stuff, but now I'm back. I'm online. Oh, yes, game week 10. Hey, sorry, give me a sec. It's been a big weekend in the Premier League. Lots to talk about, lots going on. Arsenal looks like they seems to be running away with it. Haaland back with the goals. Manchester United stutter, and Chelsea get back to winning ways. I guess we got to start off with the boys Arsenal, and I'll be real. It's starting to stress me out. Seeing Arsenal on top of the table so early. We've seen this before many times with Arsenal being top of the table. But I don't know, for some reason, it looks like these guys are going to win it this season. But it's been 23 years out back, all laughing at these Arsenal boys. So for them to go on and win the league this season, I can't lie. It's gonna be a bit of a mad one. And the way the guy with Arteta and his squad and Arsenal, yes, everyone's spoken highly of how these men got a decent squad. Guy was not really the best footballer, but my man seems to be banging in the goals, scruffy Duffy. I heard Rios talk about my man and saying how, do you know what? I don't know why Arsenal fans are so worried about him. A lot of talk about his technical ability and stuff like that. And obviously, these Arsenal guys are talking about he's not there, no more striker. Because apparently everyone plays like Thierry Henry or Van Persie. They have a certain type of striker, but they haven't won anything for a long time, not anything big. And Rio said, like, but at the end of the day, fam, you've got a striker that's getting you the goals. He's a bit rough and tumble. Cool, maybe against the big games, he's not going to score. But it's the small teams where Arsenal have dropped a lot of their points, where my man can come in and do the bits. And he's getting the goals. Not the most amazing finishes, not the most slick and top bins and beating 3-4 man doing crazy scores, but the guy's scoring. And I think obviously the biggest thing about Arsenal and their team is their defense. Like their defense is a bit crazy, isn't it? Like it's one of them teams that, especially young, you know, when you're playing football, yeah, like in your teams, I don't know, with your friends or your school team, or you're just like in one of the best teams in the area, you always know that if you're a team and is a team where the team can't score against, then you're always gonna have opportunity of winning the game. And right now, Arsenal look like they have that feeling. They just look like a feeling of a team that, bruv, you can't score against us. So as long as us man are on point and we're doing what we need to do today, they're gonna go on and get the victory. Okay, cool. It's Burnley, not the best team right now. Doing well from coming up from the championship, but not the type of team that we feel that Arsenal's going to get a challenge. But at the end of the day, you have to beat what's in front of you. Yeah, and the Premier League, every game is a tough game on any given day. Anyone can beat anyone in any given day. So for Arsenal right now, I guess it's about getting their 3 points and trotting along. Obviously, we've seen this kind of stuff from Arsenal before, innit? Like, let's be real, innit? This is not really something that. It's not like something that we haven't seen before. And most people say, yeah, don't worry about Arsenal, man. Just give them till about what? January, February, then I'll be done. And you know what? Obviously, they still have that vulnerability. And for me, I can't lie. I need to see it. I can't have Arsenal winning the league. I need to see that crumble in January right now. But you know what? Give credit where credit's due. Right now, they're doing their thing. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm even lost for words because right now, if Arsenal win the league, I can't lie. I think I'll go mad. I will go mad. I'm staying here right now. If Arsenal win the league, I'm not going to be a happy bunny. Yeah, I don't think the world's going to be happy if Arsenal win the league, because if Arsenal win the league, we're going to hear this for the next 20, 30 years. So, yeah. Man United, especially my team, in the title race. Liverpool in the title race. Manchester City, dark horse in the title race. Can Arsenal Can Arsenal fight off the challenge? Are Arsenal going to run away with it like everyone's saying? What do you think about Arsenal? What do you think about Arteta? Do you think that it's the perfect time for Arsenal? Some say it's the best squad that they've ever seen since the Invincibles. Do you think that's true? Me personally, I can't lie. Like, I only rate trophies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get onto Arsenal about these points and see stuff because every time you have a conversation about Arsenal fans with trophies, they come to you about points and this one-off game that they won and all of this stuff. But for me, I'm trying to see trophies. Yeah, I'm trying to see trophies. I'm trying to see Premier Leagues and Champions League. Yes, Man United ain't won that for a while. I was a Man United fan, but hey, at the end of the day, that's the standards for me. And unless Arsenal go on and win them big major trophies there, all of this stuff that we're seeing and we're hearing, it's just hot air, in my opinion. It's all hot air. But 2-0 victory over the weekend, trotting along nicely. Hey, and it looks like Arsenal are going to run away with the league. And yeah, I'll be honest, it's kind of hurting my heart. It's kind of hurting my heart. But yes, like I said, title race is on. And Arsenal seem like the team to beat, the team to catch, the team to worry, the team to fear. But Manchester City, Erling Haaland seems to be back amongst the goals with a 3-1 victory against Bournemouth. He's been going really well in the league this season. I can't gotta rate the boys in Bournemouth. They've been doing their thing. Very, very well-run club there at Bournemouth. Lost a lot of players over the summer. And everyone thought they was going to crumble. A lot of people was tipping them for relegation, but they've come in this season and they've smashed it. Done really well with the transfer window. And it looks like they're competing on a high end this season and will definitely be looking to push for them European spots. But against Manchester City, slipping up, Erling Haaland back amongst the goals. That's now 13 goals in the Premier League, 25 goals this season alone. The machine is well and truly back. Little stutter last weekend, but looks like he is back amongst the goals. And for Pep and Manchester City, I guess, again, also I mentioned about it last week, the dark horses in this league. And I think for Manchester City in a long time, I feel like they will be in a not a happy position, but a pleasant position. I thought they'd be pleasant in the fact that all eyes are not on them, all the pressure is on Arsenal, and they can just trot along slowly, right behind without the media attention on them, and they can literally sneak at the last minute and beat Arsenal to the post. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I do believe Manchester City, if any club is going to go on and beat Arsenal this season to the title, I believe Manchester City has to be one of the clubs that we think that are going to do that. Simply because of the experience and the quality that they've got in the team. Like I always said, if you've got one of the best strikers in the world, you're always going to be up there in terms of favourites of winning a trophy. And with this Manchester City team, obviously there's been a lot of question marks over the last couple of seasons in terms of Pep Guardiola. Can he rebuild the team again? A lot of fragility in that team. Missing Rodri, he's been coming back slowly, not quite of the best of form. I know he's been coming on and off from injuries. A lot of new players coming into this team with Pep starting his rebuild. And like I said, without the pressure on them, and Pep especially, I've been watching a couple of his interviews, and I think Pep's kind of demeanor always kind of tells you a lot about how he press and what he says in his press conferences. I feel like it gives a lot of way about how he's feeling with his team where at the current moment. And Pep seems quite happy. Don't seem to see a lot of frustrations in his interviews or in his press conferences. So he looks confident. So a confident Pep for me is a scary Pep. And Manchester City is definitely, I feel like, one of the teams that will get better over the course of the season. And there's still a lot of quality in that team who hasn't really hit the heights yet. Ryan Shirky, a young player that I tipped to go on to have an amazing season this season. Ryan Dares had a good start, wavered a little bit. Expect a lot more from him. Savio, Rodri obviously coming back. Foden had a good start, wavering a bit. So there's a lot of quality in that Manchester City team still yet to come out. So for me, I feel like if anyone is going to go on and pip Arsenal to that title right now on the current things and how way things are looking, I would definitely look at Manchester City as one of them clubs to go on and do that. And for Bournemouth, again, Manchester City is one of them free hit games, a game where they would expect to go on they would expect, not to say expect Manchester City to win, but a game that they feel that Manchester City, due to their quality, is definitely going to have an advantage over them. So they'll brush that off. They'll look back to get back to winning ways next week in the Premier League. Wolves. Yes, I want to move on to Wolves. Sorry about that, people. I want to move on to Wolves. Yes, Wolves played on a weekend 2-0 defeat to Brentford, which left manager Viega, sorry, I think I forget his name right, to get this sacked. He's out of there. He's gone. And I knew that he was going to get sacked. I said this last week. I expect this guy to get sacked. I didn't even expect him to last the whole week simply because of his behavior in, I think it was the League Cup game, or for sure it was the League Cup game defeat, where his behavior was absolutely atrocious. He was arguing with the fans on the pitch, being very violent and aggressive towards them. And I thought, once you've done that, it's game over. Got a red card early on in the game. Brentford went on to win the game easily. And for Wolves, big problems. Sitting bottom of the league, I think they are, or second to bottom. Doesn't really seem to have any belief there. One of the issues with the club selling a lot of their top players, Cunha, obviously went to Manchester United for a big fee, and they haven't managed to able to replace the quality. And when you're selling your best player season after season, especially in the Premier League, if you're not putting that quality straight back in, you're always going to struggle. Obviously, difficult decision. Okay, I think since they left or sacked O'Neill, can they get the right man in? O'Neill looks like he might be coming back. Ten Hag also a favourite into that job. Who do you think should get the Wolves job? Because there's quite a few interesting names for players, managers, tips for that role. Got Robbie Keane, former player of Wolves. Looks like he's put an application to go there. What do you guys think of that? Do you think that would it be good for you guys to see Robbie Keane back in the Premier League manager? He's doing quite well abroad. Had a decent record with Tel Aviv. I think he's in Australia now. I'm not too sure. But for me personally, it'd be good to see him back. Do you want to see Ten Hag back in the Premier League? I don't think it'd be a good move for Spurs. I think he gives you that kind of the Anza Postecoglou vibe in terms of the pressure, unnecessary pressure for the players and where they are now. And would Ten Hag potentially see himself coaching at that level, considering that Wolves will probably be one of the favourites in the Championship? And I guess that's what the managers that are going to take this will have to kind of take on board and consider that, hey, am I going to get out of this problem? If I don't, can I see myself coaching in the Championship? So big week for a couple of weeks for Wolves in terms of the decision of trying to find a new manager. Let us know what you think about who should be the Wolves manager. Let us know what you think about the whole season so far. Game week 10. I'm saying we're quarter way through the season. We're going to start seeing some stuff now. We're going to start seeing some movement. We're going to start seeing some shake-up. And 2 managers now been sacked. 2 managers now coming in. We'll move on to one of the managers that have recently got a new job. And that's Nuno De Santos at West Ham. 2-1 win back amongst their victories. West Ham are now. And this one here was a big victory for West Ham against 3-1 against Newcastle. Big result in many ways for West Ham. Been going through a difficult period, a lot of struggles and a lot of issues with the owners, protests, fans wanting to change. They're tired of the structure that we're seeing at West Ham right now, and I don't really blame them. And for me, I didn't want to see West Ham get relegated. I said it last week as my son being a West Ham fan, like West Ham, you got to do better. And this game against Newcastle was definitely a statement. Newcastle don't really have the best away record. I think they haven't won a away game in 9 games. Question marks about Eddie Howe and has he taken Newcastle too far? But for West Ham, very important. I think for West Ham this season, I think they're kind of a little reset. Obviously, like I said, the fans not really quite happy with the owners over there, but something they got to work out there. And I think the fans, especially, they really got to take in what they're doing right now. You know, these West Ham fans. Because I'll be honest with you, as much as they may feel that they need change in the ownership and turning things around, I think where they've come from and where they are right now, I think the West Ham fans really got to pattern up, because if West Ham get relegated, I can't lie, that's going to be a mad thing. Like West Ham get relegated is absolutely mad, and with the state that they got just winning a European trophy too long ago, to have such a quick turnaround and see yourself back in the Championship will be absolutely mental. So for the fans, I think you got to chill out right now. You got to chill out, and you got to get behind these players. You got to get behind this manager, and you got to keep your arse in the Premier League, mate. Yeah, you got to keep your arse in the Premier League because it will be dark. It'll be very, very dark to see West Ham back in the Championship. And I thought, West Ham, I think you guys have yourself a little reality check. You got a decent manager here. You got a decent manager. And to be fair, I don't think these owners are really as bad as the West Ham fans are making them out to me. And I think West Ham fans kind of got to take a little bit of stock and take a look at themselves as a fan base in terms of where they've been over the last 3 years, and let's take it into evaluation considering their hastiness in wanting to get rid of David Moyes and how that has worked out for them. So yeah, stuff for them to think about there. Newcastle, just spoke about that. Eddie Howe. A lot of people are saying, is Eddie Howe taking Newcastle too far? Is this as far as he can? I should say so. Because right now, he's not really doing the bits, and it's crazy because if Eddie Howe was a manager, or say if he was at Manchester United or maybe a bigger, a level higher than Newcastle, would he be getting more scrutiny than he's getting now? Is the English press kind of allowing him because he's an English guy? Because I know Man United managers are not winning, 7 or 8 games away from home, will be getting big scrutiny. So for Eddie Howe, big problem for him because, like I said, obviously he's been through this transition where he's got Champions League football, doing media in the league, not so well in the done all right in the league, media in the Champions League, got knocked out the Champions League, didn't make it that year. Next year, done well in the league, got into the Champions League, but it doesn't history seems to repeating itself. And Newcastle are trying to move on and become that big club. It's just challenging for big honours and having a big say in a European state. But if they're having these poor league runs and not consistently getting that European football and challenging, then it's going to be difficult for them. And we've seen teams have these little runs where they be at this little stint at the top and they can quickly turn around and they can go back to fighting for the relegation spots and be in a difficult position again. So Newcastle got to think about where they are. Like, they got to take into stock, really and truly understand what they're trying to do with Eddie Howe. Been a great servant to the club, obviously brought trophy to the club for the first time in a very, very, very long time. But has he gone too far? Like, what do you lot think? Do you think Eddie Howe his time is done at Newcastle? Do you think Newcastle should wrap it up now with Eddie? Do you think that they can trust him with any more money? Do you feel like they need a better manager? A manager that can give them much more consistency and challenge for them honours? Let me know what you guys think. Because I think he will start being under pressure with him being at the club for so long, winning that trophy, and I feel like maybe now with their PSR situation getting better over the next couple of windows and going to have the ability to spend lots of money. Is Eddie Howe that guy to trust? Is he that type of person that they feel that can take them to that next level? Like I said, let us know what you guys think as well. Yes, a couple more games before we wrap up the show today. Thank you guys for locking in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. TikTok, Instagram, all of that. Yes, I appreciate you guys locking in. Fulham back to winning ways. Beautiful winner by the boy Harry Wilson, and Fulham look like they seem to be getting back to where they want to be. Good 2-0 win over Wolves. Like I said, obviously Wolves were struggling, the manager getting sacked, and Fulham, obviously you have to play what's in front of you. Ryan Sessegnon getting the early goal, setting the tone for Fulham. And like I said, Fulham is about the consistency. I feel like they're a mid-range, middle table team. Silver's done an amazing job there, keeping them stable. But for Fulham, again, can they push for the European spots. Can they get into that Conference League maybe, or squeeze into that European spots? That's good. But the only way they're going to manage to do that is if they can be consistent, especially at home, pick up them points, and be a difficult team to beat. Like when I say special mention to the boy Wolby, it looks like he changed his position. He changed his position again. He's much more deeper. And he had a really good game playing in that position, showing his versatility, showing his ball level of IQ, and a player that I was really impressed with. Looking at Fulham and his ability to able just to play in that different position and have a big effect on the team. So big shout out to Awobi on that one. And yes, last one before we wrap it. No, before we wrap it up. Last one before we wrap it up, guys. I'll just talk about Chelsea versus Chelsea versus Spurs 1-0. Pedro back to scoring after a couple of games, 5-6 games, I think it was. Big win for Chelsea. Big question marks for Spurs. Frank and how they're playing. He had a good start to the season. Some might be saying, why is the pressure on Thomas Frank and Spurs considering a good start to the season? But let's not forget they've got kicked out of the League Cup. They're doing all right in the Champions League, but the problem with that Frank is going to have over the next couple of months in convincing these Spurs fans is with the way that he's playing football. And saw people speaking about this, and the issue that Frank is having is transitioning the way he's playing from a lower team in the league than a high team in the league. And what I mean by that is, especially that issue we had with Spence, we all saw the clips with Spence not wanting to, Spence and Van der Ven not wanting to speak to the fans and clap with the fans after the game, showing their frustration and walking off, ignoring the manager. And maybe that shows the fragility in Thomas Frank and the difference between managing at the high level and at low level. When some of these players are playing high stakes games and they lose it and the emotions there and they're upset, they might not want to speak to the fans. But with Thomas Frank being at Brentford, where some might say they're used to losing, it might be like a silly phrase to say, but as a club, they know that they're going to lose more games often than not. So that thought of always going, showing that fans respect and being there for the fans is something that maybe being there at Brentford is much more easier to do, considering the pressure of the club is not so high and the fans are not expecting so much from you. But again, obviously, that's something that Frank is going to have to deal with and understand. And again, that might be a sticking point for him, because obviously when you're making that transition from a smaller cup to a big cup, these are the qualities that you would expect the manager to already have. But hey, he's learning something that he's never done before. Sometimes we all make mistakes and when we're learning on the job, but definitely something for Frank to take into consideration. He said he understood it. Obviously, it blew up a little bit big, considering obviously the whole situation of him obviously being a manager and how it looks with a player not giving their authority or listening to your authority. So definitely something there to look at when it comes to Tottenham and Thomas Frank moving on in the future. For Chelsea, back to winning ways. Caicedo looking very established in that midfield. For me, again, I'll say it again and again. Bruno Fernandes is the best midfielder in the league, but you got to give credit with Caicedo and his performances. Him and Declan Rice, as well as Bruno Fernandes, performing probably the three best performing midfielders in world football right now, with just their ability in performing at the high level, especially Caicedo. I must say his development over the last 18 months has been outstanding, and now he's starting to show why he is £100 million midfielder. Chelsea, again, is about the consistency, like I've always said. 1 week they'll be good, 1 week they'll be back. Palmer should be back available for them within the next couple of the games. So it's going to be an important next couple of weeks for Chelsea, because right now, like I said, in terms of people hunting down Arsenal and trying to challenge Arsenal for that title, we're looking about probably another 4, 5 teams below Arsenal who believe that they have that genuine ability to go on and challenge them for that. And Chelsea feel like they're one of them, so they got to get the 3 points to go show consistency, and they got to perform every single week and get them points on the table. And that's going to be the big challenge for Enzo this season, especially with a lot of clubs, like I said, looking like that they can go on and challenge for that title with Arsenal. Chelsea are going to definitely want to be in and around with in the mix. Just before I end as well, I thought I mentioned the Liverpool game. Liverpool slot back to winning ways. 2-0 2-0 win against Aston Villa. Emery and Villa question mark started the game well, but I thought Liverpool showed their quality throughout the game. Salah back to scoring the goals, and Gravenberch getting a goal as well. And I think Liverpool performance was definitely off the level what they expected. A lot of question marks with them getting kicked out of the League Cup this week, and the manager not making a lot of changes, but obviously seemed to work with them, getting a victory. Isak was out of that game, injured. Like a TK had a goal ruled out, but looked very sharp again. And yeah, Liverpool obviously defending champions would want to be getting back to winning ways. Inconsistency over the season, good victory against a good Villa side, and Slot will definitely needs to keep that consistency over the course of the season, and will desperately be wanting to hunt Arsenal down. So yes, that's a wrap. Thank you, people, for joining. Sorry for being late, but at least I'm staying consistent, and I appreciate you guys locking in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys on Thursday for the preview of Game Week 11. Yes, you guys enjoy your evening. Go to your bed. I'll see you guys soon. Let's go, buddy.